Hi, my name is Megan Osborne Harrell, and today we're going to be talking about demonstrative speeches. I can't help it, I get really excited about demonstrative speeches. I think it's because it ties in a lot of things that I love. Being creative, which any speech that I would give would be some kind of a creative project. Something like sewing or some kind of makeup something or creating a gift basket. And also I love to share what I know with other people, and a demonstrative speech is a great time to do that. Plus, demonstrative speeches kind of tend to be super happy and joyful and exciting, and they're one of the only kinds of speeches that you can get away with being super jovial and kind of kidding around with your audience. Today we're going to be talking about what exactly is a demonstrative speech, some ways to structure your speech the very best way that you can, and some tips on making your demonstrative speech totally captivating. So let's get started. So first off, what exactly is a demonstrative speech? Well, it's to teach how to create. Those three simple parts create the best demonstrative speech that you can have. Now, there's lots of ways that you can teach someone how to do something, but to give a strong demonstrative speech, you're going to want to actually show them as well, not just use your words. So in choosing a topic for a demonstrative speech, you're going to want to think about something that definitely can teach us how to create, something you can do with your hands. It would be important not to choose something like how to speak Mandarin. Although that's an amazing topic, it would be really difficult to show us physically how to do that. That would be more of you telling us how to do that. And that's not really a demonstrative speech because you're not showing us how to do something. Your goal in giving a demonstrative speech is to show step by step how to get from nothing to your finished product. You definitely need clear step-by-step instructions on what it is you're about to do. You definitely need props in order to support and show what it is you're doing, and let's actually see it happen live. That might include scissors and glue, it might include flour, bowls, and spoons, but I would always say it definitely includes your end product. What's your product going to look like at the end of your speech? Show us that at the beginning, and then your audience is going to know what to expect. And then you also, thirdly, need to be doing something that we don't already know how to do and are proficient at. Like, no one wants to see how to tie your shoes. We've all been doing that for years. So now let's talk about the structure of a speech like this. It's really important that you always begin a speech with a strong introduction. This can be something funny or something kind of cheesy or something definitely super catchy, but in your introduction, you are going to tell us exactly what it is that you're going to be showing us today. The second part of your structure is going to be a list of the materials that you need. Do that at the beginning so anyone following along would easily be able to recreate your speech. Thirdly, you're going to need to have step-by-step, very clear instructions that let your audience know exactly what they need to do to come up with your end product. Lastly, you're going to finish your speech with a really strong conclusion. Always tie your conclusion into your introduction. It makes a nice, pretty package for your audience. And at the end, you will have said not only your conclusion, but also what you just showed us. So basically, you're going to tell us what you're about to show us. Then you're going to tell us what we need for you to show us. Then you're going to show us, and then you're going to tell us what you just showed us. Right? Clear as mud? So now that we've talked about what a demonstrative speech is, and we've discussed what makes a strong structure for a demonstrative speech, I want to give you some tips on some things that I think make demonstrative speeches super fun and really captivating to watch. First off, when you're doing a demonstrative speech, you've got to have every single material that you need right there in front of you, with you, live. Don't say, oh, and then you'd need some scissors, but I forgot my scissors, so I'm just going to tear this in half. No, bring some scissors with you. It's a very easy, simple thing to do. I would recommend creating a map. Take a piece of paper, look at all of the materials that you have, and decide where you're going to want them on the table in front of you. If you're doing a baking project, where would it be best to have a bowl or a spoon? Where would it be best to have a towel in case you need to clean up a mess? Think about that and lay it out on your table, and then draw a map and stick to it. That way, as you're rehearsing and then as you're performing, you'll be able to find all of the items that you need in doing your project. After you've created your map, you're also going to want to think about what are some things I need to prep beforehand to make sure that I'm ready. Things like already having the lids off of your vegetable oil, or already having your eggs cracked and in a bowl. Or in my case, for my demonstrative speech, I went ahead and laid out my cellophane and it was already cut to size. So when it was time to place my basket and pull the cellophane up, I didn't have to unwrap the cellophane, I didn't have to lay it out on the table with all of its static. I could just simply place my gift basket in the middle and pull the cellophane that was already laid out right over the basket. Made it super easy. If you can measure out your ingredients beforehand, that can also be really helpful, especially if you're doing a quick speech. Also make sure all of your things are within reach. So if there's not enough space on your table, don't put anything under the table. Try to pull up a chair or something so it's really close and you can easily grab whatever it is that you need without having to worry. Don't forget to bring a finished product. If you start out and you say, today we're gonna make a birdhouse, and no one has any idea what kind of birdhouse you're talking about, it sure would have been nice if you had a sample of, hey, it's a little rustic wooden, we're gonna be using nails to create this birdhouse right here. And then it's easy to follow along with what you're doing because they can see what the finished product is. Another super important thing to remember is that you've got to have fillers. You're gonna have a lot of downtime. You might be cutting something, or you might be nailing something in, or curling a piece of hair. In those moments, you're gonna want to be still speaking and engaging your audience. So what are some anecdotes, stories, or jokes that you could tell that relate to your project? One time I did a demonstrative speech that's actually on this channel about making a gift basket. So while I'm stuffing my basket with recycled paper, I'm telling you other things you could use for stuffing. Like perhaps you could use newspaper shredded, or maybe you might want to use tissue paper. Just some different options. Other things you can do is tell a story. Hey, you know what? The last time I made a gift basket, I blah, 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 blah. Or maybe you have an excellent joke, something that happened to you when you were creating a gift basket and it exploded or something. Think about those things and where you can add those into your speech in the blank spaces. Fillers are really important to keep your audience super engaged. Another tip I have to remind you of: prepare. Practice. Not one time, not two times. Practice as many times as you can. So if in your demonstrative speech you're making a cake, you're gonna say, well, I can't make 10 cakes when I practice, and that's very true. So let me give you a tip. Dry make it. And what I mean by that is don't actually use oil. Don't actually use flour. Pretend. Have all the measuring cups and the spoons and all of your materials laid out, and practice mixing and practice using your fillers during that time. And I would do that 3, 4, 5 times. Then use the real ingredients. You're going to find that it's going to take you a little bit longer than you had planned, because we always tend to rush those things. Like we think, oh, I'm going to be able to stir it in 3 stirs and it's already going to be perfect, and that doesn't happen. So be sure to practice it first and then practice it with your real materials, and then you're going to have a much better idea of what it's going to look like when you do it for real. You want to be as confident as possible, so don't go up there never having rehearsed. Another tip, I always make sure to try to use note cards. It's so nice just in case you get a little bit off track, or even if you never get off track, just having the note cards sitting there on the table in front of you, it's very calming. It helps you to feel very confident and that you're gonna be able to do great on your speech. Also, Also, be sure to use eye contact. While you're standing up there, I know you're busy and you have a lot of things going on right in front of you and you're using your hands. But when you do those anecdotes and those fillers, if you can look up and smile at someone while you're doing it, even if just for a moment, it makes a big difference. It makes you seem very approachable and captivating, and your audience will dig that, and so will your teacher. Think about the pros and cons of the topic that you have chosen. If you have chosen something that has to be outside, what happens if it rains that day? You might be in big trouble. What happens if you're depending on your pet to be there and your pet for some reason is acting like a lunatic that day? Is this speech going to be able to fit into my 5-minute time limit? Am I overextending myself? So try to think through all of the pros and cons of what you've chosen. When you're choosing a speech, try to choose something you're interested in. I know that's hard if your interests are things that are difficult to demonstrate, but if it's possible, something that you're interested in already sure is going to make for a fun and engaging speech. So, today we talked about demonstrative speeches. We talked about what actually is a demonstrative speech, ways to structure your speech to make it the strongest that it can be, and some tips that I've learned along the years that can help you to be super captivating when up in front of an audience. My name is Megan Osborne Harrell, and you got this, guys.